Welcome to day 148 of Scaling My Marketing Agency to 10k a month. Now I'm technically recording this the day after, but it's good because I can now look at the day properly from yesterday. So yesterday was a rough one. If you saw my video from the day before, it's kind of weird at the moment. Like I'm almost driving myself crazy by how much I keep repeating it in the videos, but for the last kind of 6 weeks, essentially, things have been like really rough in terms of, not even in terms of the business directly. Like this week has been a very good week, actually. Like I had a follow up today with one of the calls that I had on Monday, and she's like so close to being on the line of signing up and probably putting the majority, if not all, of the money up front. So that would, make the ads, more than profitable and great stuff essentially. But like, yeah, like before that, I just woke up in such a terrible state to the point of like I literally felt no other way of like being able to move forward with like life in general from that moment than going down, telling my mum that how just terrible like things have been like, in my own kind of head and this kind of war that I've been making for myself. And yeah, it just got to the point where essentially by the middle of the day at midday, I had an appointment at the doctor's. So essentially, me kind of running the business and me having this kind of latent anxiety and low mood and stuff that's been around for like kind of years, and that this time last year I also went to the doctor about, kind of happened again. And there I was at midday, or just, yeah, like 12:10, whatever. Sat down at a chair in the GP, explaining, like what's been going on, and her giving very limited advice because you can't. It's like, do you want to go on medication or do you want to do counselling? That's essentially it, right? And I think I just realised in that appointment as well, which is that as much as it shouldn't be right, like me being there, like it did feel a bit embarrassing in a way because I was like, look, I'm such like a strong-willed, ambitious person. Like I don't feel like I identify with the person that would be going there, and even stuff like in the political like landscape and environment at the minute. There's this whole thing about how in the UK over 1 million like young people under the age of like what 25, 24, whatever, unemployed, not in education, not in work, not doing anything, just at home. And like everyone's talking about these different ideas about how it's because obviously during COVID, like the idea of doing your GCSEs or your A levels was like directly impacted, and people lost face with stuff. They started to become too dependent on technology. They can do some like more knowledgeable academic stuff, but the idea of like picking up a phone or something like that isn't something that like the most recent generations can do or whatever. And yeah, I mean, like obviously, but I just kind of like laugh at some of that stuff because I'm weirdly, I like me in the past. I've never found it hard to get a job, and I'm not talking about like a proper job, but like from when I was like 16, I've had different part-time jobs, like multiple of them. Like when I was in Leamington for the last like 6 months when I was living there, I had two different jobs, one at Domino's, one at Aldi, the supermarket. My first job ever was at Domino's, and then what else did I do? I worked at like a restaurant for like literally a couple of weeks. Um, I what else did I do? I was an ice cream man, so I drove around ice cream vans and did like the rounds around like different areas of Essex. Did deliveries up to like Great Yarmouth, which was like 3 hours away from here, and back in like a transit van. Like so, like all like just weird stuff in terms of like quite cool jobs in a weird way. Like even like supermarket job is, like stacking shelves is in a weird way it's quite satisfying doing it. Weirdly, especially if you like open the store and you're in there at like 4 in the morning and you do that 4 hour kind of stint, and then like it's 8 a.m. the store opens and then you start going on tills, and it's just like it is you know, when people speak about how school is there because the schooling system was invented to like train up factory workers or whatever, like it kind of felt like that. And for me, that was like stimulating enough to just like get through the hours and then go and work on my business as I needed to do. So yeah, I don't identify with that thing. So my whole point here is that me ending up at like the doctors and like feeling sorry for myself and not doing the work that I needed to do was just like, what am I playing at here? Like, what am I doing? And I got to sort this out. So yeah, I started putting some things in place, like to actually stick to, rather than just be, oh, okay, I'll get Claude to make me like a framework to use when I get anxious and stuff. It's like, no, like, let's actually just go back to basics, and you know, when start feeling that anxiety, like give myself more breaks, give myself specific work times, be like, I can do Pomodoros again, like whatever it is that I need to just, I have to accept the fact that if I'm not, if I don't take it back to basics and kind of treat myself like I'm a bit stupid, then um, it's not, I don't think it's necessarily going to get better, because obviously the whole point is that I'm like, in my head, I'm like overwhelmed, I'm like almost confused, like with what's going on in life, like where I physically am, like location wise is a bit different all the time. And it's the first time where I've ever had that, where I haven't been in, because essentially like before this was childhood, right? Like I'm only 20 years old, so yeah, but just need to not put down the idea of the fact that I have, you know, I'm like hiring people to do sales related jobs. I'm selling my own services for thousands of pounds and delivering services that are generating people thousands of pounds. I need to stop, like just like not realizing how cool that is compared to where I was a year ago when this business didn't exist. So yeah, it is coming up very slowly in the next couple of months to like the 1 year anniversary of the business. I think in terms of when I actually started the business itself, like I actually came up with the name for it. I really want to find this now. I'm gonna look at it online. Yeah, I can see it on Company's House. The actual first day that I registered it on Company's House, I didn't actually like do anything for a month after this, but it's technically the 21st of June. So that will be in about a month, will be the first time I ever, yeah, that'll be the first time I ever, the first year anniversary of the business. And then the actual start of it, I would say, was from like the first of, or like around the start of August, because that's when I'd done like a bit of cold calling. I'd done a couple of sales calls, which I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I started working with my mentor, which was like really good from the start of August. And that's when it went like August, September, October, then November, December in Leamington, and then like the 5 months into this year, kind of starting to do the higher ticket and all of that rubbish. But yeah, I'll leave it there for today, and see you later.